And this time I'm just going to hit the file. Okay. Let me see if I can just save it as it is. I'm going to send it to me. Okay. Put a required person, okay, who's going to be attending, and I'm going to hit send. Let me just see. Okay, let me just request. Okay, let me got everything here. Why is it asking me for? Okay, if I just click here, I'm going to send anyway. All right, so even though, okay, I sent it, and here's what I get right here, the monthly meeting. So you can, if I have them also over here, it says I have a meeting, and on this particular day, right? And so that's how I create my appointments or my meetings. So once again, if you want to create a meeting, you can go here, click new meeting, or you can actually go right here as well and click meeting. So you click the meeting, you give the title, okay, and then you add the people who have to attend. That's required, and people who don't have to attend the meeting, you can put here, or you don't have to. Okay, so you can just scroll through here, and you can type the date and the time, and you can just send it. Let me just get out of here. Okay, so do you have? Let me just. I need to turn this on. I'm gonna turn on this fan here a little bit. No, I'm not sure. Can you, on your computers? I'm not sure if you can do this. Can you access, let's say, Outlook and see my instructions at the same time, or is it only one screen that you can watch? Because I think it's just probably just one screen, right? My screen. All right. So, all right. Let me just go back here. Oh, okay. Okay, so we did all that. Okay, so the reminder. Okay, reminders. Okay, so here, should have talked about this one. When you create an appointment or a meeting, you'll have this option here, reminders. Okay, so the reminder arrows in the option group, click reminder and time. So this will give you a reminder of the particular meeting. So, and you'll see that appear on your computer. Okay, so if you have a meeting set for, let's say, tomorrow at let's say whatever, and if you set this to 30 minutes, then every 30 minutes you'll see a sign appear on the bottom left of your computer saying that there's going to be a meeting tomorrow. Right, so let me just go to the next one here. And okay, let me just see if someone has a question here. Okay, Christina. Okay, Kara, you can do both. Okay. Sorry, Yin Hong. I got to get in the habit of reading these chat messages. Okay, Evelyn, you asked what chapters for this exam. It's going to be this PDF file. Okay, and it'll be chapter 1 and 2 of it'll be chapter 1, 2, 3, and 4 of Microsoft Word. We'll start Microsoft Word after in the second half of today. So we'll start chapter 1 of Microsoft Word today. Tomorrow we'll do chapter 2 and chapter 3. And then on Thursday we'll do chapter 4 of Microsoft Word. And then you have the exam on Friday. Okay. Anyone else have any questions? And feel free to interrupt me, okay? Because sometimes I don't always check the chat messages. Okay. Let me just go back into how long this class has been going to before I start. Microsoft Word. Okay, so I've got about another hour, 20 minutes. Okay, another thing I wanted to show you about Microsoft Word. I mean, sorry, about Outlook. Okay, let me just go back here. This is something people always ask, and I'll show you right now. Well, what if you want to send an email to someone when you're not in the office? Well, that's very easy. Gmail has a very easy system, and so does Microsoft Outlook. You just go into File, click File, and you go right here into Automatic Replies. If I click Automatic Replies, this dialog box appears, and sometimes you'll hear me use the expression dialog box. So this is called a dialog box, and it means you interact with it. Okay, so here I have do not send automatic replies. Here I have send automatic replies, and it's very easy to send automatic reply. You just click here, send automatic replies, and you can click here. And if I just click here only, I can type a message. I'm going to say Marlon is not here, and let me just move that font out there. Oh, let me just. Okay. It says Marlon is not here. Now, if I say OK, and if I say OK, then anytime I get a message, they're going to get a reply saying Marlon is not here. Anyone who sends me an email, they will get a reply saying that Marlon is not here. If I click here, send only during this time range, that means I can pick a day from and to, and a time from and to send my automatic replies. So if I'm out of the office, let's say from, let's say today, okay, or let's say I'm out for one day, okay? So I'm going to be out for today from 9 a.m. till tomorrow 9 a.m. And then I can just click OK, and anyone who contacts me will get an automatic reply. Now there's a lot more. It's much more powerful than that. Okay, you see this button here, rules, and like I said, we're not going to be going into this, but this is a very this I think is really the heart and soul of Outlook. If I click rules, and I can add a rule to this, okay? And a rule means I can add a bit more functionality in terms of, let's say, only if some people, I can filter out some people, and I can send a message to some people, and so on. So this is actually, it's using rules, I think, is really kind of one of the best aspects of Outlook, because you can, let me just cancel out of here, go back here. If I go back into home here, click here. I have this little small option here called rules. Okay, and like I said, we won't be discussing this because it requires a bit of time. But this is very, very important. I think it's probably one of the most important aspects of Outlook. If I click this, I can go here, create a rule. And here I can say, okay, anyone, whenever I get a letter from email from Brenton, I can, let's say, do so many things. I can do such and such. If the letter contains, let's say, certain words, I can filter out that email. Okay, and then if I go here, advanced options, I can. So, for example, if Brendan sends me an email and I apply a rule to it, well, if I get the email, I can do many things with it. I can send it off to another folder. I can delete it. And I can do a lot of other things here. These are the functions that you can essentially apply to incoming email that you want to filter out. So let me just click on it here. Like I said, this is a whole lesson in itself. Right, what else is there? Right, now here, a lot of times people always ask me, how do you block a sender? Okay, so let's say you get unwanted mail from someone you don't like. Well, you can just go into your inbox. Okay, so here I have, like I said, all my mail. Here's my Hotmail account, my Gmail account, my Yahoo account, and my Anderson College account. So if I, let's say, go into back here, if I click the chevron the drop-down arrow, and if I click inbox, so I have all the mail that I received from yesterday. So if I don't want to receive a mail, let's say from Brenton anymore, I want to block him. There are different ways to do this. So I can just put the mouse right here, and if I hover the mouse right here and right click. Okay, so remember, right clicking, anytime you right click, you'll get a menu. Okay, and that's what the right click is for. And it doesn't matter if you're working with Adobe or Photoshop or any other software. And so the right click, companies, programmers make the right click for menus, context menus. So that once again, this is called a context. Okay, it's called a context menu, and you invoke it by the right click, your right mouse click. So here I have these commands here, and they're identical to a lot of the commands here. Okay, just another way of doing it. So if I want to, let's say, block Brenton, I can go down here, go down to junk, and click here, block sender. If I want to ignore him, I can click here and ignore, and that ignore will send it into the trash bin. I have other options here too. I can let's see. I can reply to him. I can forward this email to someone else. And like I said, there's a lot of duplication. So as you can see here, I've reply, all forward. So the same ones here you'll find here in this menu here in this this ribbon. Okay, this is called a ribbon. Okay, so this tab right here, this area is called the ribbon. And you can also create your own ribbons here. Okay. Oh, excuse me. Sorry. Yeah, you can also create your own. Now in Microsoft Excel, I'll show you how to do that, and it's the same procedure for Excel, for Outlook. If you want to, let's say, create your own personal tools, you can do that, and it's very easy. But I won't show you for this one, but I'll show you how to do it in Excel, and you can do it. It's the same procedure for Outlook and Microsoft Word and Access. Actually, you won't be doing Access, sorry, PowerPoint. Okay, so let me just go back here. Okay, so we talked about scheduling a meeting. Let's just go here. Start time, the end time. Okay, schedule meeting, and we do this. Okay, now let's just talk about the to-do list. Okay, so the task. Okay, so using task. So use the task tool to create a to-do list. Your to-do list can be set to remind you to complete the task and track your progress. So to create a to-do list, you click the task button in the navigation bar, and then on the home tabs, click new task in the new group. You type a name for the task in the subject box and then set the start date. And okay, so let me just go back into Outlook here. All right, so once again, this part here is the navigation pane. On your computer, you might see it on the left side right here, okay? The furthest left side here. Okay, so if I just click here, when I click here, I have this interface comes up. I can go here and click new task. If I click new task, this is what appears right here. So I can just create a task, and it's going to I can create a task. Let's say do homework, and I'm going to, let's say, actually, let's say I'm not going to say homework. Let's say exam on Friday. Okay. I can set the date. So that's going to be Friday. And it's going to be Friday. Okay, so there's the status. We don't have to worry about that. All right, so just leave it at that. So Friday. And now if I go here to assign task, okay, if I click assign task, I can assign this task to a whole bunch of people in the classroom and email it to them. Okay? And they'll get a reminder of this particular task. So the task bar is, I don't really use the task that often. Okay, and let me just cancel out here. I'm just going to click here and just say no. But once again, if you want to use the task command, okay, you just go right here. So I'm going to go back into change the interface, click the mail interface, and you just click right here. Okay, and you can also go here to new items, and it should be right here. the task. And as you can see, when I hover the mouse over the task, it's the short, the screen tip tells me Control Shift and K. Oops, Control Shift and K. So like I said, get in the habit of hovering the mouse over. If you're not familiar with, let's say, what a function does, just try and hover the mouse over it. So let me just go back here. Try and hover the mouse over it, and it'll give you a short little description of what it does. And in some cases, it'll give you a shortcut key. Right? Okay, so let me just go back here. Okay, now this next one here, how to add contacts. Okay, so let's look at this one right here. How do we add a contact? This one, okay, so I'm gonna just click out of here. Okay, so contacts. So people always want to add friends, email addresses, colleagues, email addresses, and so on. So all we have to do is go into the contact option here. So once again, look at the navigation pane right here. So right here at the bottom left, I can click right here. Okay, you see the two people here. This is the contacts. Okay, and I do believe I can access it from here as well. Yeah, right here, contact. So like I said, there's a lot of duplication that goes on with these functions. Okay. So I'm going to click here, the navigation. Okay, and now when I click that, this interface comes up. Okay, so this looks a little odd, but the one we're going to focus on just one of these functions right here. So if I click the home, okay, and once again, if you see here the blue line underneath, that means this particular set of commands is active. So this tab, all this right here is currently active and open. If I click this one, send and receive, that means all these commands are now active and open. And let me just go back here, home. Okay, so now we're going to just show you how to create a simple contact. And this can be a little tricky, but it's not that hard. But my Outlook has a very funny a tendency to do this. I'll show you. So if I hover the mouse over new contact, okay, just hover it. Here it says Control and N. Okay, I want to press Control and N. I could just press the button here. I'll press Control and N. Okay, so now this interface comes up here. All right, so here, let me just expand. Okay, I'm going to maximize this. For those of you who don't know, okay, you see these buttons here in the top right. You have the minimize. You have here the maximize, and here the close. Okay, so I'm just going to maximize this, make it bigger. All right, so now I have the important input entries are this one here, the first name and the email address. That's pretty much what I use most of the time. So if I want to put someone's first name, so I'm going to say Evelyn. Okay, a full name. So I'm going to say Evelyn. Okay, I'm going to say just Reg. Okay. So Evelyn, I'm not sure what company Evelyn works for. Let's say she works for Apple. So file as Evelyn, I'm going to leave it at that, and that just files it as Evelyn, saves it as Evelyn. Evelyn, her job title. Okay, let's say she's a programmer. Now, I don't have to put that information in. That's not important. Okay, the important information is just the full name and the email address. So let's say Evelyn, your email address is going to be I'm going to say Evel at hotmail.com. And the moment I do that, it's going to save it. Okay. So now this comes up. It's saying Evel at hotmail.com. Let me just click out of here. All right, so now if she has a web address, I can put that on here. Okay, let's say she's got a link address or something like that. For phone number, okay, if she has a business phone number, I can just type it in here. If she has a home phone number, I can type it here. A business number and a mobile number, I can type them in as well. If she has a business address, I can just type that in here as well. Now, if you look here, I have right here, I have what is called a business card. Okay. So if I just go over here and click business card, okay, what this is going to do, so okay, so I just make sure this is clicked and go here and click business card. You don't have to do this, okay? But what it'll do is it'll create a business card for this particular person, Evelyn. So now this comes up. And this just allows me to change the formatting of this card. So I'm just going to go here, like for the background, I'm going to click this right here, this paint bucket, and I'm going to, let's say, give it a, let's say, a red background, click OK, and click OK again. And that's what I get. So all that information here, you can see that here on our business card. If I go back into business card, I can also insert an image. Okay, so if I click right here, change, I can go into my uh, uh, computer. Okay, here if I click change, it'll go into your computer, and you can look for an image, and you can add it to your business card. So now Evelyn has a. So now let me just. So nothing's happened so far until I save it. Okay, so I'm going to just click here, save and close. Now, just this is where Outlook does some very strange things. And I'm not sure if this is a bug just in 365 or in mine, or if it's just in all versions of Outlook. All right, so just remember, her name is Evely, Evely. Okay, so if I hover the mouse there, that's what I get here. And I get her contact information here. I can show more. Okay. Okay, so nothing is appearing here because we still have to save this. Okay, so if I click save, all right, so now Evel's name is saved. It should be saved, but it's not. Okay, and this is a funny quirk of Outlook. So if I go back into here, mail, okay, and I press new mail. Now I want to send a mail to Evelyn. Sorry, I'm going to type in EV. Okay, and as you can see, Evelyn's name is not there. Okay, this person here, Evelyn Boldekin, I think she works for the college. That's not the Evelyn I want. Okay, so where's Evelyn's name? Okay, so what I have to do is I have to actually close out Outlook. Okay, I know that sounds weird. Okay, but I'm going to close out Outlook and restart it. So I'm going to close it. Say no. I'm going to close this. I'm going to say yes. Just delete that. I'm going to go back and open Outlook. Okay, as you can see, it sent me monthly meeting to this person here. I don't want that. Okay. So let me just go back and click new mail. Now, if I type in, okay, Evel, okay, there she is right there. Okay, so if that happens to you when you're creating contacts or a list of contacts, and then you try and send a mail to them, and if it's not sending the mail, if you can't find their name, just shut down Outlook. Completely shut it down, and then restart it, and then the person's name will appear. Okay, does anyone have any questions so far? Let me just go and check the chat room. Okay, Kara, no. Okay, let me just go back here and see what else we have to do here. Yeah. All right, so let me just go here. Okay, so we did the how to add a picture to the contact. Okay, okay, actually, how to add a picture to the okay. So let me just go back here. Okay, so okay, so with Outlook open, okay, I'm just gonna click the calendar button. So I'm gonna go to the navigation bar and click the calendar button, and I'm going to, let's say, search the calendar for, let's say, a meeting. Okay, and I can use the search option to search for that. So I'm going to go back into here. And once again, so here, once again, is the navigation area. Okay, this is the navigation pane. I'm going to click the calendar. And now, if you look here, the search, okay, on 365, okay, I have a search box right here. And I think it's you should have this on 216 as well. Okay, this search box can search through everything from all your files, from all your emails, your folders, your contacts. And if you want to look for a certain person or a meeting, if you give them the meeting a title, it can find it. Okay, so if I type in, let's say, monthly, see if it's going to find it. Okay, so here, when I type in the word monthly and meet, the IntelliSense. Okay, this is called IntelliSense. Right, a lot of computers nowadays have IntelliSense. So if you type in a search box and you type in, let's say, the first letters of someone's name, it's going to give you a list of suggestions. Okay, so we call that IntelliSense. All right, so here it's telling me it has this particular meeting right here. So if I click this one right here, okay, I'm going to be taken to that particular meeting, and I can see that also right here. If I want to look for someone, okay, so let's say I want to look for Evelyn's name again. Okay, so there she is right there, Evelyn REG. If I want to look for, let's say, a friend's name, I'm going to say Brian. So I got my friend Brian. Yeah, that's him right there. And IntelliSense is telling me he has all these right here. I'm going to look for my friend Ken. There's Ken. Okay, so there's my friend Ken, and I have his last name as well there. So get in the habit of using the search box. It can save you a lot of time. And so the option to use a search, if you don't see the search box here, okay, you can type in Control and E or Alt and Q. Okay, so and let me just see. There's so much more in Outlook that I wish I could talk to you about. Right, so let me just go on here. Okay. Right. So these are some shortcut options. Okay. I mean, these are. This is just a task summary of what we've done. So once again, this PDF file, okay, is the PowerPoint presentation. Okay. So you can access all that from. I uploaded all this onto the your Microsoft Teams, and you can just access it from there. If I just go and show you where it is, let me just show you where it is. Where it is. Right, so I uploaded all of it to this right here. Okay, so if you click your Teams right here and you click here handouts, and it's nothing's here. But if you click here files, okay, once again you'll see all the material that I sent since yesterday. So the new stuff is this one right here, the PowerPoint or the PDF presentation, and here the Outlook shortcut keys. Okay? So I gave you some shortcut keys here for both Windows and Mac, and you can just go through that. There are just a few shortcut keys in there. Okay, so now let me. Okay, just take about 5 minutes. Okay, just take a 5-minute break, and let me come back. I just have to do some things here, and just give you a little practice. But before I do that, just one more thing in Outlook I need to show you. Okay. Where am I? Where am I here? Okay, let me just go back into Outlook for a moment. Okay, now, let me just go back into Mail. Now, so if you ever open up Outlook and you see, let's say, the calendar, and you want to get back into Mail, okay, just go down here and click this option right here in the navigation pane, the mailbox, this envelope right here. So now I'm going to go into my Anderson College email. So I'm going to go into Inbox. And now I can also create folders. Okay? So if I put the mouse over the inbox and click right click, okay? And once again, when I right click, I get a context menu. Okay? So if I just put the mouse over it, if I click inbox and right click, I have these options here. And I can go and create a new folder. I can create a new folder from here, and I can also create it from here. I've got to find it somewhere up here to create the new folder. But new folder option is somewhere here. I think it's right. Where is it? It's somewhere here. Okay, but I'm going to right click, get the menu, context menu, and create a new folder. And now I get a new folder here. I'm going to call it work. So now I've created a folder here called work. Let me just do that again, rename that. WORK. So now I created a work folder. The beauty of this is I can send emails to this folders from my colleagues, okay? And we can do that by, let's say, if I go back in the inbox, if I want Brenton, okay, to always come to the work folder, I can do that. I can just right click and I can go move to the work folder. So we're right here. Okay, I can have them move to the work folder. I can automatically do that too by creating a rule. Okay, and like I said, we won't be doing this, but I can create a rule right here. And when I click here, I can create a rule so that every time Brendan sends me a message, it goes straight into this folder right here. Now, if you look here, where is it? Just one last thing here. Right click here. Okay, so if I just right click here, I have also the option to, where's it? Where's the read option? Oh yeah, mark as read. Okay, so if I get this mark as read or unread, okay, sometimes it'll say read or unread. So if you get a whole bunch of emails, let's say in your junk mail, you can just right click all of them, or right click one of them and just mark as unread or mark as read. That way you don't see them as highlighted all the time. So that's one thing about marking as unread or read, which is kind of handy. Now, just sorry, one last thing. Here, you see the red flags here. Okay, if I click the red flag, I have these options here: today, tomorrow, this week, next week. The red flag means you have to take immediate action on someone's email. Okay, so once again, let's say Brenton. I'm going to use him. I'm going to click here and I'm going to flag this email. Okay, so I'm going to flag it, and here I'm going to go here, follow up, and let's say tomorrow. Okay, that means that that Outlook is going to remind me that I have got to be wary of this particular person's email. I have to perform some type of activity on him by tomorrow. Okay, that's what the flag means. Here I can follow up by, it'll give me a time. Let's say I've got to follow up by today, by tomorrow, by this week, next week. So if someone sends you an email regarding getting or saying, oh, can you attend our meeting? You can flag it and you can like get back to it, let's say tomorrow, right? And then you'll be reminded of that. That's what the flag does. The flag works in conjunction with the follow-up, and it also works with the task, okay, the new task option as well. All right, so now just take about 5 minutes. Okay, 5-minute break, and let's just get right back. Okay, let me just shift here and okay. Okay, so if you look at your screen here, for today, Microsoft Word will do chapter 1. We may start chapter 2 if there's some time. Probably not. No, we may do it. So we have chapter 1, 2, 3, and 4. This particular PowerPoint, which I will convert into a PDF and send it to you at the end of today's class. So this covers just chapter 1, creating documents. So let me just go here. Okay, so chapter 1, creating documents. So like I said, most of you are familiar with this. Now, this course assumes actually that that most of you have a very, very basic exposure to computers or to Microsoft applications. But it's generally understood that a lot of you are at either a basic, intermediate, or an advanced level. So if you're at an intermediate or advanced level, you may find this information a little, what's the word? It's simple, right? So, for want of a better expression. Right, so creating documents. So with Microsoft Word, so first of all, Microsoft Word is a text editor, okay? And there are different text editors. If you don't have Microsoft applications on your computer, and if you have a Windows system, then by default you'll have two text editors built in. One is Notepad, and the other is WordPad. Let me just go right here. Okay. Okay. If I go down here to the bottom, and actually, if you have a Mac, you also have WordPad and Notepad. So if I go back here and type in Notepad and press enter, this is what I get. Okay, so this is a text editor. It's very, very basic, right? So, but it's a very, very basic version of not Microsoft Word, but it's a text editor like Microsoft Word, but there's very little on it in terms of functionality. People still use this a lot. So that's one inbuilt text editor that people can use to type out and print information. The other inbuilt text editor is called WordPad. So if I go down here, type in WordPad, and if you do it on your computer, you should see it too, and press enter. I have this. Okay, so this is called WordPad. So this is also built in, and you don't have to pay for either Notepad or WordPad. So as you can see, this is a bit more functional, and it has a bit more options, and it's more powerful than Notepad, but not as good as Microsoft Word. So let me just get out of here. So if ever you're stuck for an editor and you don't have Microsoft applications, just go into your search box and type in either Notepad or WordPad, and you should get them. Okay, so let's just try this. So creating Word documents, you can create business letters, you can create reports, you can create resumes, cover letters, and a lot of times you can import a template that's already formatted for you, and you just fill in the information. So creating Word documents. So how do you create a Word document? Let me just talk about some of this, and then I'll show you. So whatever type of document you create, taking the time to plan your message will help ensure clear and effective communication. So planning involves deciding on a purpose, identifying an audience, selecting the topic, and choosing a format. When you're writing, most people who use Microsoft Word just use it for letters, and that's pretty much, mostly what people use it for. So you just have to plan what is the purpose of the letter. If it's a business letter, if it's like a cover letter, and you have to know, well, the person's address is here, the return address is here, and so on. Okay, so now with Microsoft Word, you can insert graphics. Okay, you can format and align. So if you look at this person's Word document, you can see I have an image at the top. I have to, from, regarding, and I have a table right here, and we'll talk about tables. Okay, so this is just an example of a letter. All right, so the skills you will learn here: so enter and edit text. So open a document, enter and edit text. You'll use the Pilcrow The Pilcrow is just a show hide feature. If you see here, if you look here, you see this symbol here, like a P, but reversed. Okay, that's called a Pilcrow. Okay, you'll see that on a lot of text editors, and you'll see it on your. You might see it on your keyboard as well. No, you won't have it here. So that's what it is. We'll show you how to use that. So we'll do cut, copy, and paste, spelling, grammar checks, document based on templates, creating documents on templates, indentations, add tabs, margins, page breaks, and headers and footers. And so that's the official stuff. And there's going to be some unofficial stuff I will kind of sneak into there as well, just for your benefit. All right, so let me just hit the escape. Okay, so write it down. Yeah, just 1 second. All right, so let me just get into Microsoft Word. Okay, so once again, I'm going to go down here to the bottom left into the search box. I'm going to type in Word, W-R-D, and I'm getting WordPad, and I got Word right here too. Let me just type in MS Word. Microsoft Word come out. Okay, okay. I also have it right here on my screen bar, right on my taskbar right here. So I'm just going to click it right here. Okay, now I'm going to go into File and New. Okay, so when let's just make sure that you can see this. Okay, so this is my Microsoft Word. Once again, it looks, when you see it for the first time, it seems a little daunting. But once again, there's a lot of it's not too hard to understand. Now, once again, I have 365, so your interface may be a little different, but generally we're going to use the same same tools. Okay, so here I have I have tabs right here. So I have in Home tab, I have Insert, Draw, and once again, whenever I click one of these tab headers, I have a blue line that appears underneath, and then that shows me all the functions that I can use that belong to this particular tab. And as you can see, these tabs, these groups are, if I go back home, as you can see, there's a vertical line here separating each of these groups. So I've got design, layout, print layout, references, mailing, review, view, developer, and help. Now you won't have the developer there by default. Developer is a tab that you can add if you're programming. Okay, so Microsoft Word has a programming language that goes with it, and even Outlook too. And it's called VB, Visual Basic for Visual Basic for Word, Visual Basic for Outlook. Okay? Excel has its own VB as well, so its own programming language, and it's the same language. So here I have Home, and if I click here, File. Okay, if I just hover the mouse here and click File, okay, I have the Backstage. That takes me to the Backstage. And if I look here, I have a Home tab here. I have New, I have Open, okay, and I have all these options here. So let me just go back. Now, a lot of these options here, you can access from the ribbon right here. So you can access from these tools as well. So like I said, there's a lot of duplication that goes on when it comes to the tools. So don't get overwhelmed if you see a whole bunch of tools you don't understand on one interface, because you've probably seen similar ones on another interface. All right, so now, so I have this blank page here. I have a ruler right here, and I've got another ruler down here on the side here. Some of you may not have this ruler on the side here, okay? This ruler right here. If you don't see that ruler there, it's not important. Okay, but if you don't see this ruler here, and if you need it, you can go into File, and you go down here to Options. So go to File, Options, and here this is the option box, and it allows you to make changes to Microsoft Word. So I'm going to go down here to this tab here, Advanced, and I'm going to go down here to Display. And here I just make sure that the vertical and the horizontal scroll bar are shown or checked. Okay, so if you don't see either the vertical or the horizontal bar, okay, you just have to go here into Advanced, go to Display, and make sure this is checked right there. We just cancel. All right, so now when you open up Microsoft Word, it's going to open up in a blank document. If you want to create a new document, you can go into File, and you can click here, New. Now you can also do a shortcut key. You can press Control, and first of all, let me just type something here. Okay, I'm going to press my Control, hold it, and I'm going to use my mouse scroll wheel to make this bigger. Okay, so I'm using pressing Control and using the mouse scroll wheel, and that should work on. If you're using a Mac, I think it's the Command key. Okay, I think it's the Command key. So here I'm going to press Control, use the mouse scroll wheel to move forward and backwards. I can make it bigger and smaller, and I'm just going to. Okay, I'm just going to here. I'm going to type in Word document. All right, so now here, I made it bigger and smaller, right? You can also do that right here at the bottom right. You can zoom in, okay? And you press the plus sign, and you can, sorry, you can press the minus sign to zoom in, or zoom out, sorry, and press the plus sign to zoom in. Okay, so you can do that same function here as well. So now let me just make this bigger. All right, so I typed Word document here. Okay, so it says Word document, and you see this flashing black line here? That's the cursor. Okay, so that vertical flashing line is the cursor. Some people call it the insertion point. Okay, some people call it the insertion point. Okay, so wherever you see the insertion point is where it'll start printing out. Okay, so if I start typing from here, it'll type right where the insertion point is. Okay, if I press Enter and start typing, it's going to start typing from where that insertion point is. Okay, so now if I want to create a new document, the different ways to do that. Most people will use the control keys, the shortcut keys. And you can use shortcut keys for everything that you can do with the mouse. So I can, first of all, I can go to here, File, and click New. And here I can click a blank document. Okay, and these are other type of documents I can create. And once again, this is 365, so these may not be on the older versions. These are templates. Okay, so these are pre-made documents. Yeah, I can make a calendar, and I can create a resume and so on. So I'm going to go here to New, and I'm just going to create a blank document. And this is what I get here. Now I'm going to type in the word Word again, and I'm this time, instead of going to File, New, I'm going to press Control, hold it, and N as in Norman. Okay, so Control and press it and hold it on the keyboard, and then press N, and that'll create a new document as well. So now I have 3 documents open here. If I here, because I put the Microsoft Word in my taskbar, if I hover the mouse over the taskbar here, I can see all the Word documents I have open. And this, let me just close this one. So here I've got 3 documents open. Okay. Let me just click X to close the first one and the second one. And no, I'm not going to save it. We'll talk about that in a second. Okay, so now let me just highlight this. Okay, now if I'm going to press another, here's another technique. Press Control and A. Okay, on the keyboard, press Control and A, and that'll highlight everything. So highlighting is a technique where you select your text. So there I press Control and A. Now on my computer keyboard, I'm going to press Delete. Okay, and I just deleted everything. If I want to, okay, let's just open document. Okay, now let's talk about entering text. So once again, where the insertion point is, the flashing vertical line, the cursor, that's where you enter the text. So here I'm going to say my name is Marlon. So now I've just entered a sentence, a full stop too, with capital letters. So I'm going to press enter now, and that'll take me 2 lines down. So now I'm going to say hello. Okay, so here I'm going to press shift, hold it, and press H. Then take my finger off the shift key and press ELLO and press hello world. So now I have I have one sentence and one expression here, and I have this flashing black line. So now let's just talk about okay, I'm going to just press Control and A again. Press Control, hold it, and A. Now, Control, the Control key is a very special key, or the Command key on the Mac. It's a very special key. It has a very special function, and it's used. It's kind of like a it's called Control for a reason. It's kind of like, but it's kind of like a master key that is important for shortcut keys, shortcut commands. So I'm going to press Control and A, and it's going to highlight everything, and I'm going to press Delete, and that deletes everything. Okay, so now I'm going to show you a little trick here. Just follow what I'm going to do. Okay, I'm going to type in equals. Let me make this a little bigger here. Let me make the font size bigger. I'm going to go here, go back into home, and click here. I'm going to make the font a little bigger. Okay, just watch what I'm going to do here. I'm going to type in equals. Now this is a special command in Microsoft Word. It's built into the system. Okay, you type in equals, and you type in RAND, lowercase. Then you press Shift, and on my keyboard it's 9. I need an open parentheses. Okay, so an open curved brace there. Okay, and now I'm going to type in the word 4. Okay, and I'm going to press a comma, and I'm going to type in the number 5 and press the closing parentheses. So this is a special command in Microsoft Word. So what it's going to do is it's going to create a paragraph of 4 paragraphs, 5 sentences each, and it's going to extract that information from its inbuilt text. Okay, so if I press now, make sure the cursor is right at the edge here, right after the last closing parentheses. And if I press enter, and let's make this a little smaller. Okay, so I'm going to press Control A again and make this a little smaller. Okay, make it bigger here. Okay, this is what I get. Okay, I get this text. I have 4 paragraphs. Okay, I said 4 paragraphs of 5 sentences each. Okay, and that's what Microsoft did. Microsoft Word did. It gave me 4 paragraphs of 5 sentences each. Let me press Control and Z to undo all this. So Control Z will undo all that. I'm going to do that again. And I'm going to drop it down to 14. So I'm going to type in equals RAND, open parentheses. This time I want, let's say, 3 paragraphs, comma, and I want, let's say, 10 sentences in each of those paragraphs, and a closing parentheses. So I'm going to type equals rand, open parentheses, 3, comma, 10. So 3 paragraphs, comma, 10 sentences each paragraph, and make sure you put the closing parentheses and the flashing. Make sure the flashing black line is right after the last parentheses. Then you press enter. Okay, and so I have this text that comes up. This is dummy text. Okay, this is called dummy text. Microsoft built in that command for practice purposes, so for teaching purposes. Right. So now that I have text already in here, I can manipulate this text, like I said, for practical reasons. So here I've got 3 paragraphs here. And I want to, let's see, what do we do here? Okay, so edit text, enter text. So we have text already entered here. Let's talk about how to edit the text. editing text, when you edit text, you have to first highlight it or select it. Okay, so I'm gonna just highlight, put the mouse. Okay, see, my mouse is now this beam, like an I, capital I. Okay, if I put the mouse right here, okay, left click now, hold and drag, I can highlight, let's say, that word, provides. Now I can also do that with a shortcut key. I'm gonna put the mouse, click the mouse right here, press Shift and my right arrow. Okay, so I'm holding the Shift and I'm pressing the right arrow key. And I'll give you the shortcut keys for this that I'll show you. Shift. Okay, so Shift and right arrow. So when I highlight this, okay, this word here, that means now I can edit it. I can make changes to it. So for example, now just make sure you're in Home right here, okay, and click the Home tab. And now go right here to this group of tools here under Font. So once again, they're separated by groups of tools are separated by these vertical lines, and you see the name of the group, and this is called the font group. So I can make it bold, italic, underline. I can cross through it. I can subscript it if I want. Let's say if it's a chemical symbol, if it's a mathematical symbol like 2 to the power 3, I can superscript it. And as you can see, when you hover the mouse over a function, a screen tip will appear most of the time, but not always, right? But most of the time, a screen tip will appear, and in some cases, you'll have a shortcut key. So if I go back here, actually, let me go back here to B. Okay, so if you hover the mouse over B, don't press it, just hover it. The screen tip tells you that there's a shortcut key, Control and B, and it tells you what it does. So it makes your text bold. So now that this is highlighted, I'm going to press Control, hold it, and press B on my keyboard. And now that's it. Now it's bold. Now, if I want to get rid of the highlighting, I just click anywhere to remove it. Right. So I'm going to do that to this word right here. Prove your this part here. Prove your point. I'm going to left click. So I'm going to left click, put the mouse right here. Click the mouse in here, the insertion point. Then left click, hold, and drag. Now I highlighted that. Okay. And I'm going to go right here and press italics. So if I hover the mouse here, it says Control and I. If I press Control and I, it's going to be italicized. I can also just press this. Okay, and now it's italicized. Now that it's still highlighted, I can press Control and B to make it bold. I can also put an underline here. Okay, now you see when it's been used, you'll see it's pressed in the press position. And so it's telling me that this highlighted material here has bold and italics attached to it. If I click here, I get underline. Now I'm going to press Control and Z. I'm going to press it once, press Control Z, press it again, Control Z again, Control Z, and that's it. Okay, Control Z. So press Control and Z. That'll undo the previous commands that you did. Okay, so that function Control Z, I think that's probably one of the most commonly used shortcut keystrokes that people use, because they always make a mistake, a typo, and then they want to undo it, so they just press Control and Z. So that's a very handy, quick shortcut key. And once again, I think for Mac, I think it's Command and Z. I just don't check me. You might have to check me on that one. Okay, so right. So now, okay, just one. Let's the highlighting. Now, if I press the mouse right here, put the mouse right here, and highlight this whole sentence right here. Right now, if I try and highlight another sentence, okay, or another word, as you can see, I lose the previous highlighting. And that makes it difficult to highlight two items at the same time that are not connected. Now, there's a shortcut for that too. Okay, so here, if I highlight, let's say up to here, left click and drag up to this point. Now I'm going to press the control key. And this is why control is so important. Press and hold the control key. Now I can put the mouse right here and let's say highlight this right here. Now keep your finger on the control key and I can highlight this right here. Keep your finger on the control key and I can highlight this part right here. Right, so now I've highlighted 4 different sections of the text, and it's not, these sections are not current, they're not concurrent, they're not connected. So if I go here, I can press bold and all that is bold. So let me just press Control Z and that's it. So once again, you highlight a text that you want, and now you press your finger on the control key and keep it pressed. Now your mouse, you just left click and let's say highlight this word right here or this section here. And then I can highlight this as well. And now I take my finger off the control key and I can make any formatting changes to any of those right here. Okay, so just take a 10-minute break. I just need something to drink. Been talking for so long. Okay, so just take a, you want 10 minutes or a 15-minute break? Does it matter? Right, so we created this dummy text using that special command, that inbuilt command. Okay, so that command is actually a line of programming. You have a function, the name, you have the name of a function called rand, and it takes 2 parameters, the amount of paragraphs, the first one, and the second parameter is how many sentences. Okay, I know that's kind of programming language I'm using, right? But what you did was when you typed that out, you just created your first, you just compiled your first line of code. So that's good. So now here I've got this dummy text here, and I'm going to just go up right here. I'm going to this. If I let me just click it again. I'm going to go into home and make this a little bigger. Press Control and my mouse wheel to make that a little bigger. Okay, so I'm going to go into home, and if you go into home, under this group of commands right here, called paragraph. So these commands are under the paragraph name. You'll see this object here, this funny little symbol here. All right, that's called a pilcrow, P-I-L-C-R-O-W. I don't know why it's called that. I haven't done any research into what it is, in the kind of the etymology of it. It looks like a reverse P, right? All right, so it's what it does is it shows and hides the formatting symbols. So once again, if you hover the mouse over it, it has a special key, a shortcut key, Control, and that's the star sign or multiplication sign, and it shows the paragraph marks and other hidden formatting symbols. So I'm going to just press it, and when I press it, you can see that I have all these dots in between the words, and the dots represent the space bar. At the end of this sentence here, the last sentence, I have a pilcrow, and that represents the end of a paragraph and the beginning of another one. All right, so I'm going to uncheck this again. Okay, I'm going to press Control A, and I'm going to delete everything. And I'm going to do this again. I'm going to say, my name is Joe, and I am in a house. Right now, I'm going to press the pilcrow again. And as you can see, this is what I have here. Now I'm going to type in hello and space. Now, the moment I put space, I get a dot there. Hello, how. Now, if I press space, I get the dot. So the dot is the symbol for space. And as you can see, I've got a red squiggly line here. That means that there's a spelling mistake here that the IntelliSense can't recognize. So I just have to click the insertion point right here. So I left click and press the space bar. That's what I get here. Now I'm just going to delete this, all this. Check this again, uncheck it. Okay, this is a common mistake I see a lot of people do when they write letters. So for example, let's say Joe Smith, enter, he lives at 20 20 Yonge Street. Enter Toronto, Ontario. Okay, so now, as you can see here, the spacing is not correct. So anytime you press the enter, first of all, let me go back and press the Pilcrow. All right, so when I press the Pilcrow symbol, the show hide, it's telling me that it's going to double the line at the end of every sentence here, at the end of every word here. When I press enter, it's going to create 2 lines here. So when I pressed enter at the Yonge Street, end of the Yonge Street, it created 2 lines, and it's going to do so with Ontario as well. So now I don't want to do that. So what I'm going to do is, let's just, I'm going to delete this part here, left click highlight and delete all that. And this time after Joe Smith, I'm going to press the shift key, hold it, and then I'm going to press enter. As you can see, I get a different symbol there. Okay, so that means that's the carriage return symbol. It's saying it's going to drop down not 2 lines, but 1 line. So if I say, I can type in Joe Smith at 20 Yonge Street. And now I'm going to press shift, hold it, and press enter. And I'm going to say Toronto, comma, Ontario. So as you can see, and if I just go here and remove if I want to remove the symbols, I just go back here. And I can press the control and the star, or I just press here. And that's what I get. As you can see, the spacing is correct here. Okay. Now, regarding save, whenever you save a document, you can go into there are 2 save options, and students get confused about these. You have save and save as. So let's say you want to save this document. You can go into File and click Save. If I click Save, I have all these options here. I can pick I give it a name and pick a file extension. I'll leave it as it is. And I can pick a location. If I click more options, I can pick a location. Leave that as it is. All right, so I'm just going to, let's say, now I can also do this, press Control and S. And I can save it that way as well. So I press Control and S, or I can go into File and Save. And I'm just gonna save it to my desktop and say Save. All right, now I'm going to add information. I'm going to just say hello. All right, so now at this point, I can just I can press Control and S again, and it's automatically going to save it. Now, if I go into File, I have Save and Save As. Right now, students get confused about the difference between Save and Save As. If I click Save, okay, usually, or rather with Save As, okay, if I want Save As, I can specify the location. So I can pick a location where I want to save as, and I can change the file extension. I have all these options here. The file extension is the last 3 letters of the name of your file. You'll see like .doc, .doc, so that's called a file extension. Usually, when you're saving a document for the first time and you come through here, if I go File, and if you save the document for the first time, you probably want to click Save As. That'll give you the option to save in a specific location. Save, you can use the save when you've saved it already and you want to save every, let's say, second or every minute. Right? So here I'm going to just type in something and press Control and S, and now it's saved. Okay, if I go File and do that, it's the same option. Okay, so Save As, you save as the document. You use Save As when you first write the document, and you want to save in a specific location in your computer, you use Save As. So it's a very, very subtle distinction. You may not often notice it. But if you press Control and S, you'll get the save options, and you can save it where you want. Just for your information too, and this is very important. It's not covered. It's not part of the material. But if you go into File and go down here to Options, if you go down here to save, this option here is extremely important, and I always make sure it's set. If I go into save, this button right, this here, this option here, save auto recovery information. Here it tells you how many times it'll save information automatically every so many minutes. By default, it's set to 10 minutes, but you can drop it down to, let's say, 1 minute. So I strongly suggest you go in and you do this. You go into File, you go into Options, you go when the Options dialog box appears like this, you go into Save, and you make sure this is checked. Save auto recovery information, and drop it down to every minute. So that means if your system has a failure, you're working on a document and your system has a failure, then it'll save the last what happened a minute ago. So all that information is automatically saved. Here, auto recovery. So here, keep the last auto recovered version if I close without saving. So I leave that unchecked. Now here, this is where the saved document goes automatically if you check here. And you can change this location by clicking the browse button. So that's very important for disaster recovery. If you want to save the most current document that you've been working on within the last minute, just drop this down to 1 minute and click here, Save Auto Recovery. And then you can leave it in the default location, or you can create a folder and you can save it there. Let me just hit cancel. Okay, so we talked about the line spacing and formatting. Right, so now let me just talk a bit more about the formatting right here. I'm going to just go right here and I'm going to press Control and my scroll wheel, make this bigger. And I can also just go right here and make it bigger from here as well. Right in the bottom right, you'll see this option right here. Right, so I'm going to type in, let's say, H2 and O. Right, so that's the formula for water. So I want to subscript this number here too. And so I have these options here. This option right here, okay, subscript. If I hover the mouse over it, the screen tip tells me the shortcut key is Control and equals. It's not Control and plus equals, it's just Control and equals. So I'm gonna, first you have to highlight the word like this, highlight the symbol. So I'm gonna highlight that and just go right here and press it. And as you can see, I get this subscripted. Now I'm gonna say, I want 5 to the power of 2. I'm not 52, 5 to the power of 2. I want to superscript this one. So this one is subscripted and this is superscripted. I'm going to highlight the number 2. Now here is the superscript here. So if I hover the mouse over it, I press Control, Shift, and the plus sign. So if I press Control, Shift, and plus, that's what I get. So 5 to the power of 2. So you just have to remember to make sure the symbol, the letter, the word is highlighted first before you can actually use these ones right here. Does anyone have any questions so far? No? Okay. Yeah. I don't think we're going to do cut and paste. Okay, so cut in the clipboard. All right, so once again, I'm going to press Control and A, and I'm going to press Delete and just delete that. So I'm going to go right here. The insertion point is flashing right here, the cursor. And I'm going to type in today. And I'm going to just press my spacebar and say today is a nice day. And the full stop. All right, so cut and copy. Now there are two options here for removing and replacing text. Cut and copy. Cut and copy are slightly different. So if I, let's say, highlight this word right here, D-A-Y, and the full stop. If I go here and I press cut, okay, so now it's gone. So let me press Control Z. Now, if I highlight everything here, okay, and I press this copy, now once again, cut and copy are shortcut keys. Control C and Control X for copy, cut. If I press copy, okay, so the original is still here, and I can go paste it somewhere. Now, if I press move it over here, press Control and V, I'm going to paste it right there. Now I'm going to do this again. I'm going to highlight this right here. I'm going to this time press cut or Control and X. Control and X. Now it's gone. I'm going to just go down here, enter, enter. Now if I press Control and V, I can paste it there. So with cut and copy, there's slight differences, a very, very slight difference. Well, I mean, it could be a major difference. With cut, it removes the entire word. It's still in memory, but it's removed. With copy, it just makes a copy of that word. Okay, so the word is still there. It's still in memory, and then you can paste it. In both cases, you can paste. So here is the paste options. So this, okay, let me just show you something else. I'm gonna just highlight this. Okay. I've got this blue line here. See these blue double lines? And that's a grammar error. It says grammar error, but IntelliSense doesn't know what it is, so it just says grammar error. It just means there's too much space there. Let's see. Oh. Now, sorry, I had two spaces there. Why did it do this? Oh, okay, it's looking for a subject. It has a adjective, but it needs a subject. So today is a nice day. Oh, my mistake there. Okay, so today is a nice day. Now I'm going to show you a very handy tool here, and this is not on the exam, okay, but it's a handy tool to know. The Format Painter. A lot of people don't know about this Format Painter. Okay, so I'm just going to highlight this word right here today. I'm going to go right here, and this is the font color. I'm going to click the drop-down arrow, the chevron right here, and just click that chevron. And I get these options of colors here. And if I rifle through these options, it shows me the result. So I'm going to, let's say standard color, I want green. And I'm going to make it bold. Now I want to take that same formatting and apply it to day. Now I could just highlight this word right here and say, okay, go here, change the color here, and make it bold here. But there's a better way of doing this. I'm just going to just highlight this word right here and click here, Format Painter. If I click Format Painter, it retains the formatting, so it retains the color and the bold. Now, as you can see here, my mouse changes into a little brush. So now it's saying it's ready to apply the formatting to another word. I'm going to click right here, day, and just left click. And that's what I get here. So the Format Painter is pretty handy. Let's show that again. So I'm going to, let's say, highlight this word right here, nice. I'm going to go here to change the font size. And I'm going to make it size 16. I'm going to go here, okay, and I'm going to change the font style. So I'm going to click the arrow here. I'm going to make this Algerian. And I'm going to make it italicized and maybe underlined. And I'm going to go here and change the color to green. So I've done quite a lot of steps on that one word to get that font. Okay, so I'm just going to highlight it like so. And then I'm going to click Format Painter. Okay, now the Format Painter copies all the formatting and saves it in memory. So now my mouse changes into the brush. If I hover the mouse over the word today, just hover it and then press my left click, okay, that's what I'm going to get. So it copies the entire formatting. I'm going to press Control Z to undo that. Control Z to undo that. Control Z again. Control Z again, and leave it like that. If you look under Home, okay, you see this option here called Clipboard. Okay, so Clipboard. Let me just make another sentence here. Okay, Clipboard. A lot of people don't realize this, but if you let's say you. Okay, I'm gonna let's say copy this. So I'm just gonna go here and to show you something. Okay, can you all see my the screen here? Skill steps, indent and add tabs using the ruler.
Yes, sir.
Okay, great. This is another aspect of Microsoft Word which confuses a lot of people. Even experienced Microsoft Word users can be a little uncertain about this one. Okay, so indenting, it involves indenting paragraphs using the ruler. So here, let me just go back one. Okay, so indenting paragraphs. So how do you use the ruler and how do you use indent? Okay, so here we'll select the paragraph and then we'll show you how to indent with using the left indent and the right indent and the hanging indent, right, and the full indent. So I'm gonna just get out of here, go back into Microsoft Word. Okay, now here, let me make this a little smaller. Press Control and the scroll wheel towards me to make it smaller. Okay, now here, okay, if you look here, this ruler up here, okay, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And I do believe that's centimeters. I have to check. Okay, so if you look here, you see first, if I hover the mouse, you see this little strange object here. Okay, that it's called the first line indent. Okay, it's like a upside down triangle. You see another one here, and if I hover the mouse right on it, it says left indent. And you see this underneath the left indent is this rectangle. And let me just, sorry, I have the first line indent. The next one is the hanging indent, and the rectangle is the left indent. All right, so what does that mean? Okay, let me show you what that does first. I'm going to delete all this. Type in equals rand, and I want 4 paragraphs, comma, let's say 5 sentences each, closing parentheses, and hit enter. All right, so now this is what I get here. I'm going to put the insertion point right here at the beginning of the word video. Now, if I put the, if I make sure the insertion point is right here, and if I put the mouse right over the first line indent, okay, and if I left click and drag, it's going to drag the first line over. Okay, let me press Control Z to undo that. I'm going to press Control A to highlight everything and do that again. All right, so now I'm going to put the mouse over the first triangle, the first upside down triangle. It's called the first line indent. Put the mouse, it's a little tricky getting it, okay? And then I'm going to hold it, left click and drag. And when I do that, okay, it's going to indent just the first line of each paragraph. So I highlighted everything and I just used the indent right here, the first line indent, and I was able to move just the first line. I'm going to press Control Z to undo that. Now I'm going to make sure it's still highlighted. All of this is highlighted. And this time, very carefully, I'm going to squeeze the mouse right here. I'm going to hover it over right here until it says hanging indent. When it says hanging indent, which is the bottom triangle, I'm going to left click and just drag. Okay, and see what it does. It indents everything except the first line of each paragraph. So let me just put that back here. Oh, let me just press Control and Z. So the first triangle here, the upside down triangle, that will indent the first line of every paragraph. Of a paragraph, if you select everything, then it's the first paragraph, the first line of every paragraph. So once again, if I put the mouse right here, and it's very tricky to get it, but when you get it, it'll say first line indent. Then I just move that over. Okay, left click and drag, and that's what I can do. Press Control and Z to undo that. Now I'm going to put the mouse right here for the hanging indent, left click and drag over. Okay, and that's what I get there. If I put the mouse over the left indent, okay, it's going to indent everything from the left side. If I put my mouse right here, okay, and press the tab, it's going to indent up to 1 inch right here. Okay, press Control Z. So if you press, let's say I put the cursor or the insertion point, I'm going to put it, let's say, right before the letter C, and I'm going to press my tab. And when I press the tab, you can see the first line indent goes over to this 1 inch right here. I think that's 1 inch. It might be centimeters. I have to check on this. You can change the measurement here from inches to centimeters, and that's, you go into File and go into Options, and I do believe it's under Display. Display, it's one of these. It might be Advanced. Okay, go down to Advanced, and I think it's right. Where is it? You can change the measurements here. Maybe it could be general, but I have to check and see. Somewhere here, you can change the ruler from centimeters to inches and inches to centimeters. I just have to find it. I can't. It's hard to retain all this stuff if you don't use it very quickly. Okay, here it is. Okay, under Advanced, you have Display, and you look for the display right here, this category, and you can go right here, show measurements in units of, say, inches, centimeters, millimeters. So if I go here, was it centimeter? I want to change the centimeters and click OK. Okay, so this is now, it's changed into centimeters. Okay, so once again, if you want to change the ruler, you go into File, go into Options, go into Advanced, and go down to the display category. So that's this one right here. And then you'll see right here, show measurements in units of, cancel. Okay, so now I left that centimeters. So now the thing that people can really get confused about is this thing right here, right in the corner. You see this L here? It says left tab. If I left click and hold it, now I have this perpendicular symbol here, a center tab. If I left click again, I have this right tab. So I just want to talk a bit about the left, right, and center tabs here. How does this work? I'm going to click this again and again and one more time. Just want to focus on the left, right, and center. So now I have this L here. If I go right here and let's say click right here, now the left tab is right here. So if I press tab, it's going to go right there. So let me press the backspace. So whatever you see here, and you only need the left, center, and the right tabs. So here it says left tabs. If it says left tabs here, I can go, let's say, somewhere right here, anywhere here, anywhere really. And let's say 7. I'm going to put the mouse over 7, and I'm going to left click. Okay, so if you look closely, the L is here. I have an L here, and I have an L right here. And I'm going to press my tab once. So now it's going to stop at this L, left indent, and again. press my tab, and it's going to stop right here. If I want to get rid of these indents, I put the mouse right here, and this is one way of doing it. And until I see the left tab symbol, left click and drag downwards, okay, and it's gone. So put the mouse right here over this left tab symbol until the left tab sign appears. Left click, hold, and drag. Right, so now it's gone back to its natural tab. Left. All right, so that's the left tab. Well, what is the center tab? Okay, so I'm going to put the mouse right here, and I'm going to left click again until I get the perpendicular center tab. So this is the center tab. If I click right here, okay, I have the center tab option right there. So what the center tab will do is, okay, let me just go right here. Okay, if I start typing, it's going to type purely symmetrical from wherever this is here. Okay, so it's typing right from the center and going outwards, as opposed to typing, let's say, from the left and going outwards. Right, so the center tab here is good if you want. See, for example, I'm going to say this is a house. Right? It's actually centering everything from this marker right here. Okay, so everything is going to be centered from this line down. Okay, if I just pause right here. Okay, so where you see that broken line, okay, everything is going to be symmetrically opposite from that broken line. So it's going to be well proportioned. So that's what the center tab does. It's a very handy function to have when you want like symmetry and you're typing and you want everything to be equal from spread out from a certain point. So that's the center tab. The last one I want to talk about is the right tab. And that's a tab I rarely use. If I put the mouse right here and click here, okay, I have right tab. Okay, and it looks like the left tab, but it's actually the right tab in reverse. So here I have right tab. And let's say I just go right, let's say right here, click right there. Okay, I'm going to remove the center tab. I'm going to press down and delete that. So now if I press my tab key, it's going to go all the way from one end to the other. Now when I start typing, it's typing from the right and pushing towards the left. Okay? So just bear that in mind. If whereas here, okay, from the left tab, it's typing from the left and it's going to the right. All right, so just remember that the right tab will start typing from the right and it's going to the left. The left tab, which is the norm, which is the standard, it's going to start typing from the left and it's going towards the right. I know it's a little confusing. So these are the tab functions, and I wish I could give you had more time to show you an example. Actually, maybe I'll show you an example in next class, and you can see how important they are. Usually, you use the left center tab and the right tab to create like columns, and I'll show you an example tomorrow. Maybe just write that down. Okay. I continue to talk. I know I've talked a long time. You guys are probably a little bored right now. There's just one little another practice quiz I'm going to give you, and that should take you just about 5-10 minutes. Okay, let's just see what else we got here. Okay, do all you have Microsoft Word, right, on your computer? Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Should I give you practice right now? Is there enough time? Now I'm supposed to give you 2 20-minute breaks in this class, but I only gave you one. So I know we've talked a lot. So I'll tell you what, let me just give you the I just have another little practice activity you can do for the stuff we've done so far in Microsoft Word. Let me just make sure that I don't have anything else on it. Margins. Actually, let me just talk about one more thing here. Sorry. Okay, so if you look at this ruler here, in the middle it's white, on the sides it's gray. So the sides that are gray, here and here on the left side, and here on the top side here, that's the margin. And you can change the margin however you want. Okay, so I'm going to put the mouse right here. And when I put, okay, now this is where it gets very tricky to adjust the margin. If I put the mouse right between the two cones here, I'll get two arrows here, bi-direction arrow, two arrows here, and it's very tricky to get it in here. There it is. Okay. Now it says left margin, and if I left click and drag over, I can change the length of that margin. If I move left click and drag this over, I can change the length right here as well. And I can go right here as well, put the mouse right here, and hover it over until I get the two arrows, and then left click and drag this way to the right to make the margin smaller, or to increase the size of the margins here. Now I'm going to make the margins a little smaller here, right here. Okay. Now I'm going to press Control and P. Okay, Control and P is the print command. So when I press Control and P, I'm taken to the backstage. So here in the backstage, it's telling me when I print out anything, this is what is going to appear. If you see it on you look at right here on the right side, this is the image that's going to print out on my computer, on my printer. So let me just go right here, make it a little bigger. So I'm just going right here to the bottom right, and there's a zoom option here. So I'll make that a little bigger. And so now if I press print, okay, this is how it's going to print with the margins in that space right there. Let me just go back here. I'm going to just press Control Z to undo this. I'm going to go right here into layout. Now in layout, I have here margins. So under the page setup group, I have this tab right here, margins. If I click it, I get pre-made margins. So I'm going to use my the up and down arrow here, the up and down vertical scroll bar, and I can set it to a pre-made number. So here, that's the last custom setting. If I look here, normal, this is a normal margin setting, 2.5 centimeters on the top, 2.54 at the bottom, and so on. Here's a narrow margin setting. Here's a moderate, wide margin setting. So these margin settings are built in, and they're very common margin settings that people use when they're printing out documents. So just remember that. So if I go here and let's say print, say narrow, okay, that's what's going to happen. And if I go into press Control and P, as you can see, I'm going to get this printout right here. Let me just go back. Okay, instead of now that I'm in this backstage here, I can also go right here. Now, like I said, there's a lot of duplication that goes on for commands. So if you see, so this one right here is the same as the one in the previous screen. So you have the option of changing it back to normal right here. You can, let's say, change it to moderate, and you can just manipulate it from here. Now, just bear in mind, a lot of these options here are also going to be found here in this interface here, the print, not print, where is it? I think it's view. There's the print command. Where's the print? Where's the print options? Yeah, yeah, I've got to find my print options here. Okay,
No, it's in the file.
in the where's it?
It's in the file. Down.
The files?
You're looking for the print, right?
Yeah, the print option. I mean, I can access from here, go files, and go print, right?
Yeah, the
Uh,
print.
yeah, okay, but there's supposed to be another option here, unless I removed it accidentally. Okay. Okay, so that's fine. Okay, so that's the those are the print margins. And I know I'm sort of bombarding you with a lot of information here. But I'll tell you what. Okay, since we didn't do the second break, and I'm sure a lot of you are tired, I'll just give you that little quiz, the PowerPoint practice, not the practice quiz, and just do that, and I'll just take the attendance, and you can go. Okay.